And now for something completely different. I have this Garbage Pail Kids deck, which was gifted to me by my very good friend Brian. Thank you, Brian. Um, he is a Garbage Pail Kids fanatic. And actually, this is a beautiful deck. It's so well done. The cards are thick. It comes with this excellent guidebook. Every card has a bunch of information here. Oh, it's even got suggested readings in the back. I haven't gone through everything yet. But yeah, so it's like totally legit. Really loving it. Like I said, the card stock is thick. I've already been through to make sure all the cards were there and to look at the designs, and they're really beautiful and intricate, and I can't wait to get into the book to read them to see if the cards have any like new information in store that the other decks don't have. I mean, that's what's fun about getting a new deck, right? We can learn something new about each card with each new deck because the authors and the artists sort of focus on new aspects of the symbolism. So I've already shuffled them just to get them broken up from the way they came, their original order. I think I'll shuffle them again here and we'll just go through a couple to see what we can draw out of the symbolism here. Yeah, I don't really know what this deck's voice sounds like yet, if you know what I mean. You know, I've got these different decks that sound really different. For example, the Muladhara Tarot, you know, has a specific purpose, a specific resonance. My Tarot of the She has a specific resonance. The Rider-Waite, the Thoth, you know, they all sort of speak their own language. So I'm trying to get a sense of what this Garbage Pail Kids is going to be sounding like. Let's just pull from the top. And one more. So here's what came out. Got the Three of Swords. I've got my kitty cat. That's Mikitsa. Hi, Mikitsa. Goodbye, Mikitsa. We've got the Three of Swords, the Magician, the Two of Cups, the Page of Wands, and the Chariot, which was on top when we opened it. I knew it wanted to speak to us. So right off the bat, the Three of Swords looks pretty familiar. A heart with some swords through it, a big storm cloud. You know, typically this speaks of sorrow and heartbreak. What I do think is kind of interesting about this one is that the heart, which has these three different faces and all these different hands, it's putting the swords into itself. It's stabbing itself with the swords. That's something that's worth thinking about more when it comes to this card, I think. But let's see what the guidebook has. Three of Swords, Heartbreak Harvey. You're feeling as though you've been stabbed in the heart, like poor Heartbreak Harvey. This tarot card represents heartache, betrayal, and painful twists of fate. Remember that the pain won't last forever, even though it seems like it will in the moment. Take care of yourself and focus on healing from this major upheaval. As far as the book goes, it's not giving us any new information, but as I mentioned, I think as I'm doing readings with this card in the future, I'm going to be thinking about what it means that we have these different faces and aspects of ourselves, and that some of this injury may be self-imposed. Number one, the Magician. What's a better place to start? I will read from the book first, and then we'll analyze the card. So number one, the Magician. The character is called Mad Max. The Magician represents someone as wildly inventive as the kooky scientist Mad Max. If inspiration strikes you, act on it. You have the creativity and excitement needed to concoct your wildest dreams. Don't sell yourself short. The impossible may just end up being possible after all if you have the courage to try. Again, not too much different from a normal interpretation. We see that Mad Max is the master of the elements. We've got the coin and the wand and the sword and the cup. And the message is to believe in yourself, to manifest your dreams. If you can believe it, you can achieve it. Something I'm stuck on, the most interesting thing about this card, the mystery that I'll have to unravel, is these grape leaves in the corner here. At least I think that's what they are. Just curious about the symbolism of those grape leaves, and I will do more research into that. Now we have the Two of Cups, which is, our soulmate card, typically speaking. And in this deck, we're talking about Tidy Knot. Tidy Knot is the name of the character here. This card symbolizes happy relationships, nurturing friendships, and being perfectly intertwined with someone else, like Tidy Knot. Things are going smoothly and you're enjoying calm, stable connections to others. Sometimes this card represents a union such as marriage or a new relationship. But what's really cool is that when I first looked at this card, I thought it was one person. And that's, of course, the intent here. When you look closely, you can see that it's two people with their heads together, like their foreheads pressed together. But when they press their foreheads together, it makes one face. And they're drinking from each other's cups, and that intertwined character there is the caduceus, which is like the sexual energy, speaking of the root chakra, Muladhara tarot. And so that kundalini energy is being raised to a higher power by their unity. Okay, then we have the Page of Wands here. Okay, the character on the Page of Wands card is called Potato Chip. And it says the Page of Wands is a creative novice, as charming as Potato Chip. You're full of inspiration. Your adaptability creates all sorts of unique possibilities. You can be anything you want to be: a French fry, potato soup, potato pancakes. You can do anything and be anyone you want to be. Now's the time to let your imagination run wild. Your dreams will soon take root and sprout up into something tangible. Yeah, beautiful. You really get that sense here of the beginnings of your creative journey. Your roots are down here in the ground, and you're slowly gaining the confidence or the experience needed to take that first step above ground. You're finally breaking through, if you will. And what I noticed about the court cards and the wand suit in this deck is that there's pyramids in all of them, representing like royalty, And so this guy's just stepping foot onto that land, onto that territory. And finally, the Chariot was itching to speak to us. And here we have Velocity Victor is the name of this all new character. Velocity Victor is ready to hop into the chariot and drive it as far and fast as fate will allow. The chariot symbolizes momentum, drive, and determination. This is a sign that stamina is called for. You'll cross the finish line only if you stay focused and don't lose confidence in your own ability to win. Well, again, we have the imagery of like Egyptian royalty. So that must be a theme running through this deck that could be worth exploring, and especially exploring more in relation to the original Rider-Waite tarot symbolism and maybe the Thoth deck, which are both very based in Kemetic mythology, like Kemetic imagery. That would be Egyptian spirituality, mythology, imagery. So while I don't know right off the bat what exactly is going on here, there's plenty of symbolism worth exploring. The crescent moons, the triplet shapes, the pharaonic headgear. I mean, is he guarding the castle? Is he stepping out on an adventure from the castle? Is it a castle? Is it a fortress? Is it the walls of a city? I don't know. I don't know. This one might be worth exploring more. I don't know. Me personally, the chariot's kind of an enigma. Maybe I'll do a deep dive into the chariot in all my decks. That's a great idea, as a matter of fact. Now, what are these cards in a line here trying to tell us? Well, I just think this looks like a story of recovery from heartbreak. Finding your will, your talent, your ability, your belief in yourself after heartbreak. It may or may not involve an emotional attachment, a relationship, someone else filling your cup. That's again what I think is cool about this card is that it almost looks like one person. So we could totally be talking about integrating two sides of yourself, filling your own cup. And that is in fact what I'm getting here. It's about your experienced heartbreak. You had to come through a journey of believing in yourself, loving yourself, seeing your talents and abilities, and implementing them, implementing your will, filling your own cup. And because of that, you've started to understand that the territory where you belong is very special. You are royalty, if you will, metaphorically speaking. This is your land where the pyramids are. This is your land. And you have every right, if anyone does, to step foot on it. And you're slowly taking those steps. You've come a long way. All this work was down here, are those roots. And you're finally coming up above ground. And you're ready to move. I have to pull some more. You're ready to move? Where are you going? Let's just see what fell out here. Six of Swords and Knight of Swords. Yeah, Six of Swords traditionally also speaks of movement, of a change of perspective, of seeing things a new way, or maybe getting new information that changes the way you see your situation. Knight of Swords, same. It speaks to me of a movement of your mental energy, a ferocity, a determination, a direction the Knight of Swords has that some of the other swords don't have. But let's read from the book and see if it gives us any additional insight. Six of Swords, Crushed Shelley. This card represents mental growth and moves that lead to important changes in perspective. You're going through a transition that will open your eyes to a lot of new ideas and ways of thinking. Be open to change, and like a slimy snail chugging along, keep moving forward at your own pace. Trust that this process will do a world of good in the end. Moving forward at your own pace is something I think that you can relate to. This has been a slow process, a slow journey. Like I said, all of this big, big, big work has taken place underground. So it may not look like much to you, or it may not look like much to those around you, but it will add up to, it's the vital difference. It's the vital difference in your life. Okay, now we have the Knight of Swords, Mad Mike. The Knight of Swords puts real action and momentum behind their goals. This card is assigned to change boldly in the direction of your dreams with the determination and might of Mad Mike. Now's the time to make your move, particularly when it comes to communication and revealing your grand ideas. You've been brainstorming and planning for a while now. The world is ready to hear what you have to say. That's lovely. Same energy as the Chariot. Now is the time to move. You've done all that work. You've basically become a new person, essentially. And like I said, although others may not see it yet, you should be thinking maybe it's time to let them know. Not that it matters. Not that it matters what other people see and think about you. What really matters is you and the changes that you've been able to make for yourself and how you feel. But I'm getting the feeling that part of what you want from life is maybe to share your ideas with the world. You know, you have that necessary interchange with the world around you and the ideas around you. So don't be afraid of that. You've done the work, you've got what it takes, and everybody's just faking it until they make it. And so you can do the same. That's my number one advice. And that's how I'm going to end this reading. I love you.